Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sport. And some interesting news over the weekend, some interesting transfer news in that sort of Sunday report, as we often do get. And obviously, we're being in the off season at the moment. The URC teams are actually back in, I think today, a lot of the pre-seasons are beginning. I know the Lions are back in camp. I think the Bulls are back today. We wait and see whether the Sharks and the Stormers are back as well. But it's an interesting time because we still have a couple of players and a lot of sort of rumors flying around, and we still sort of haven't got confirmation on where certain players will be playing their rugby in next season. And we do have actually fixtures for next season, which is quite exciting. URC starting at the end of sort of October. So quite a long sort of preseason that some of these sides have. They can have a full sort of August, September. So really no excuses for players, for teams that are not too sort of disturbed by the national camp, like Alliance, for example, to really sort of get to grips with their systems, because they're going to have a couple of months together to really sort of work on exactly what it is that they want to do next season. Now, before we talk about a couple of the rumors and the big one that we're going to talk about, which is Manie Libbok, please do smash like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Right, so from zero to hero really has been sort of the story and the rise of Manie Libbok over the past few years. A player that had to move from the Bulls to the Sharks and then the Stormers before getting decent game time, and all of a sudden potentially cracking on the door to potentially get his second test start this weekend against Argentina. We'll have confirmation of that tomorrow, but that is rumored that he will be back in the number 10 jersey for this weekend. And there's been a lot of speculation about him with his rise with the Stormers the past couple of years, and apparently was subject to quite a big money offer from France. With a couple of teams, I know that Racing, for example, have been looking for a fly half, and they were the one that were after him to try and replace Finn Russell, who's moving to the Premiership this season. But apparently, that is not going to be the case. Apparently, Manie Libbok has actually signed. It hasn't been announced yet, so we wait for official confirmation coming out of the Stormers camp. But apparently, he has signed a contract extension, which will actually keep him with the Stormers until 2027. So it'll actually take him through the next World Cup cycle if you were to sort of see out that contract. He's 26 years old at the moment, so if you were to sign that 4-year unit, it will take him up to when he's about 30. And I suppose if he really does become a Springbok regular, it's the perfect kind of contract, because it keeps him in South Africa, and he'll continue playing for the Springboks for the next 4 years. And then he gets to 30, he can go to another World Cup. It'll be in the States, in fact. And after that, he can sort of then make the decision, well, maybe at 30 years old, it's time for that big money move overseas to France or something. But yeah, so we're waiting for official confirmation to see whether that is the case. There has been no announcement yet for the Stormers, but that is the story that came out of a report yesterday. So yeah, we now wait and see whether that is official. Also, a couple of rumors are flying around about Jordan Hendrickson. Speaking of flying halves on the move, there was a rumor yesterday coming out saying that he had in fact signed for the Sharks and that he was going to reunite with his brother down at the Sharks. However, that is also now being disputed. Some people sort of say, well, other reports coming out saying that he's got a contract in place until 2024 with the Lions, and whether he extends or not is remains to be seen. But for the next season, he will be playing his rugby at Emirates Airline Park for the Lions, which I think for me makes sense. I think I'd be very disappointed. I think it'd be a pretty poor career move for Jordan Hendrickson if you were to move now. I think he'd start week in, week out with the Lions and really put himself on the Springbok radar. And the Sharks have just signed Sia Masuku, and they've already got Butter Chamberlain. They've already got Curran Bosch. So quite a few sort of 10 options there, and I think that Jordan Henderson were to go there already. I think a lot of them will struggle for some game time, and I think for Jordan Hendrickson, especially coming off the back of a long injury, a season at the Lions is probably the right thing for him. So hopefully that he does remain. Apparently he does have a contract in place, so unless that's been bought out or that's changed, then at this stage he is still a Lions player. But the big news is apparently we wait on confirmation that Manie Libbok has re-signed in 2027, which will be good news for the Stormers, because the rumors that Warwick Galant could be making his return, David Williams is still locked in. So they're losing Stephen Kitsoff, they're losing Marvin Ori, for example. So they are losing quite a few players. But if you can sort of keep the core of some of those big sort of star players like Manie Libbok and bring back a Warwick Galant, for example, then I think they can continue to be as dominant and as good as they have been in the last few years in the next season. But yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Smash like on the video, subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steven. I'll chat to you soon.